ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्. Yeah, Gurudev. So we saw all these verses. Sukha dukhe same kritva labha labhav jaya jayo tato yuddhaya yujyasva naivam papam avapsyasi. That is taking pleasure and pain, gain and loss, victory and defeat to be the same. Prepare for battle, thus you will incur no sin. We actually completed a few more shlokas after this. Esha te bihita sankhe buddhir yoge tvimam shrunu buddhya yukto yayaf partha karma bandham prahasyasi. This wisdom with reference to self-knowledge has so far been told to you. Now listen also to the wisdom of yoga, endowed with which you will get rid of the bondage of action, O son of Pritha. And then difference between yoga and Sankhya. What can karma yoga do? One yoga and two lifestyles. And neha bhikramana shosti pratyavayona vidyate swalpam apyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. This was what we saw yesterday. In this, there is no waste of effort, nor are the opposite results produced. Even very little of this karma yoga protects one from great fear. We saw also Vyavasayatmika Buddhihi Ekeha Kurunandana Bahushakha Hyanantascha Buddhayo Vyavasayinam. So, with reference to this moksha, O descendant of Kurus, there is a single, well ascertained understanding. The notions of those who lack discrimination are many branched and innumerable indeed. I think we stopped here at this on page 273 yesterday. I'll just read this from the beginning for us to get the whole picture. So, The vision of the Gita is that you are already free. You cannot be improved upon. Since you are already Param Brahma, it is knowledge alone that liberates you. To gain it, you should find a teacher and ask for the knowledge. In spite of the availability of such teaching, however, there is no guarantee that one will gain the knowledge because the place where it must occur may not be ready. Knowledge has to take place in the mind. Physically, one may be a mature person, an adult, but this does not mean that the mind, the antakarana, is ready for the teaching. A certain maturity, a certain viveka is necessary. The teaching may be given for the asking, but the mind must be ready for it. You must be desirous of the knowledge, not out of curiosity, but out of a certain discrimination, viveka on your part. Then only can you ask for this knowledge and hope to receive it. The mind that is necessary in order to receive the knowledge is accomplished by karma yoga. You can choose a lifestyle of karma yoga, performing karma with a prayerful attitude, or you can choose a life of renunciation involving only Sankhya, knowledge. Sankhya and sannyasa go together, since sannyasa is taken for the sake of pursuing knowledge to the exclusion of any other activity. By simply becoming a sannyasi, one does not become enlightened. A sannyasi also has to gain knowledge. Similarly, by karma yoga alone, you do not gain liberation. You have to gain knowledge. Knowledge, therefore, is common to both. Knowledge liberates, for which you require a mind which has been made ready by yoga. A sannyasi may follow the Ashtanga Yoga up to its final limb of samadhi. But it too comes under karma yoga because it is an action to be done to purify the antakarana for the sake of gaining the knowledge. Any technique that helps to acquire steadiness of mind is useful and may be employed even by a sannyasi. The means and the end are one. In this verse, the word vyavasaya means nishchaya, clarity with reference to what I seek and how I am going to go about gaining it. The mind, buddhi, therefore, is said to be single pointed, eka. There is also only one goal, moksha, in the form of jnana, knowledge. That the goal, the end, is clear is itself a very big accomplishment. To see that moksha is the destiny of a human being, that this is exactly what I am seeking, that it is freedom, freedom from a sense of limitation, and that freedom must be centered on myself alone, that it cannot be outside of me, means that the goal is clear. I should see that I am already free, and that if I were bound, I could never be free. If I am already free, I should know it to own it. This is the kind of knowledge I need to have first, that there is such a thing as the freedom I am seeking and that it is in the form of jnana. So this clarity has to come. The clarity about what I am seeking is the freedom that I already am. And how will I realize that I'm free is only through knowledge. So these are the two important things. If you're able to get this clear, that itself is a big achievement. If there are 100 seekers and all of them are very clear about what they want, all of them committed to the pursuit of knowledge, then all these minds have only one goal. Shraddha is common to all of them. Only in preparing the mind can there be differences. Once the mind is prepared, it does not meander. Meander is wander, it does not wander. It is like a river with two banks. It has a direction. If the banks themselves are not defined, if they are all over, there will be islands everywhere, just like the river Godavari before it reaches the sea. Just like a meandering river, the buddhi will meander all over if I do not know where I want to go. Everything will seem to be all right, or everything will seem to be important, which means there will be a confusion about priorities. If everything seems to be as attractive as everything else, then everything will have the uppermost place on the list of items to be fulfilled because they have no vyavasayatmika buddhi. People are confused about what is to be done first and what later. But here, whether it is with reference to karma yoga or jnana, the focus is the same because it is knowledge and knowledge cannot differ. Knowledge is centered on the object and is as true as the object. Therefore, knowledge cannot differ regardless of whether it is my knowledge or your knowledge. 1 plus 1 is 2 for both of us. Because it depends on a valid means of knowledge, knowledge of a given thing does not differ. So too, knowledge for one who takes to karma yoga is the same knowledge as that pursued by the sannyasi. A karma yogi does not do karma for the sake of karma in performing an action for the sake of action. Inaction would be preferable. Action is performed because the person is interested in something. We need to be clear about what that is. A karma yogi does not perform karma for the karma's sake, nor because it is going to produce a particular result in terms of security and pleasure, and thereby make him or her a better person. Such a person no longer thinks that way, although he or she may have thought so originally. A karma yogi, like a sannyasi, is a mumukshu, a seeker, one who has a desire for moksha only. One does not become a karma yogi otherwise. So, a karma yogi does perform action not for the sake of action, but for the sake of preparing his mind. So, the priority there is not artha kama, it is moksha. So, it is not for the sake of security or pleasure or to make him a better person. Such a person no longer thinks that way. So, the only desire is that of moksha, for moksha. The only reason the karma yogi performs action is to purify his inner equipment, to prepare the mind to receive knowledge. So both the sannyasi and the karma yogi are pursuing the same end. The end is moksha, and that is through knowledge. So without knowledge, seeking is endless. Everyone does some kind of karma or the other. Who does not? Some are doing more, some are doing less. But everyone performs karma with certain ends in view, and these ends are numerous. Bahushakaha. There are many branches in the sense that each one goes his or her own way. There are not just one or two ways, they are endless, countless, ananta. If you go after money, there is no end to the search. If you want power, it too is endless. Pleasures are the same. Whatever you seek, you find the pursuit is endless. Those who do not have nishchaya, those who are not clear with reference to what they want, have meandering minds. Bahushakaha buddhayaha. Too many branches are there, too many channels, too many expressions, and too many pursuits. They are indeed countless. Both the means and the ends are countless in number because the same ends can be achieved by many means. Take money, for example, or power. There are many gates, including Watergate, through which you can gain power and lose it too. A gate can take you in and it can push you out. Inlets can become outlets. Thus, there are many ways to accomplish the same end because whenever an end is away from you, you can accomplish that end in different ways. When the mind is not clear, priorities are always a problem. Everything seems to be equally important. Whereas for the person who has the clarity about what is to be known, there is eka buddhi. With reference to yoga too, it is eka buddhi because karma yoga is born out of nitya anitya vastu viveka, discriminating knowledge between that which is eternal and non-eternal. All we have to do is to take care of our raga dveshas, our likes and dislikes. These have to be neutralized, and to do this, we require karma yoga. If a person does not have karma yoga and becomes a sannyasi or simply pursues knowledge on his or her own, raga dveshas still have to be taken care of. This does not mean that one should not pursue knowledge. The pursuit of knowledge itself may help one to take care of ragadveshas. In fact, no one takes care of every ragadvesha and then pursues knowledge. You pursue knowledge and take care of ragadveshas. This was what Arjuna did. So it is not like one step after the other, simultaneously. So the lifestyle of Karma Yoga implies you're doing action to prepare your mind to receive knowledge. Simultaneously, you're also pursuing knowledge. Whereas the lifestyle of a sannyasi is pursuing knowledge to the exclusion of all else. But just becoming a sannyasi, he doesn't become enlightened. He also even sannyasi also has to pursue knowledge until he becomes a Vividisha sannyasi. Just by donning orca robes, he doesn't become an enlightened person. So he also has to pursue certain techniques to prepare his mind, to prepare the antakarana. That is Ashtanga yoga, whatever else technique that he prepared. Japa yoga, for instance. And this eka buddhi, rather than getting lost in the bahushaka and anantascha. There are so many countless ways to pursue when your end is artha kama. So if you want to further your money or power, there are countless ways. But then, in order to pursue moksha, when the clarity is there in your mind, this is what I want, then there is that eka buddhi that dawns. Because karma yoga is born out of nitya anitya vastu viveka, discriminating knowledge between that which is eternal and non-eternal. So that is the basis. So first you have that. That is why the pillars of knowledge is viveka, vairagya, shamadhi, shat sampattihi, and mumukshutvam. See, a sannyasi may follow Ashtanga Yoga up to its final limb of Samadhi, but it too comes under Karma Yoga because it is an action to be done to purify the Antakarna for the sake of gaining the knowledge. Any technique that helps to acquire steadiness of mind is useful and may be employed even by a sannyasi. So we have Vidvat sannyasi and Vividisha sannyasi, right? Vidvat is, sorry, I think I said Vividisha sannyasi is already gained knowledge. So Vidvat sannyasi is one who's already gained knowledge. Vividisha sannyasi is a sannyasi still work in progress. So for that sannyasi, he might employ any techniques like Ashtanga yoga, meditation, anything to purify the antakarana. So the whole path is number one, the means, you have two lifestyles. The end, you have two lifestyles, but the final means is knowledge, and the end is moksha. Does anyone want to share before we go on to the next?
Here, somewhere it is said that unless you have this Viveka Buddhi, you will not take this path of Karma Yoga. So, are we born with this Viveka Buddhi? Because unless that is there, we don't know what is our priority, right? So, are we born with that Viveka Buddhi, or how it is? It is come through our karma.
It is um, it is actually, I think, the adrishta phala of our previous actions. Even that the intention, that desire to get onto this path, to know more about myself, to know more about what is life, what is moksha, what is freedom. That is a result of the adrishta phala of your previous actions, of previous prayers that you've done. And it does take the use of the free will, because, like what Gurudev says, see the past as destiny so that you don't go on regretting about it. See your future as free will. So, what I can do now, or what I can do in the years coming or in the days coming, is in my that's my free will. So once you have this viveka, nitya viveka, vastu viveka, then your priorities will start getting organized. Otherwise, everything will seem important. That becomes that bahushaka hyanantascha. And your buddhi becomes avyavasayatmika buddhi. Whereas when it is vyavasayatmika buddhi, you know exactly what you need to do is to prepare your mind. First of all, you decide karma yoga or sannyasa. Having taken up karma yoga, this is the way, this is my lifestyle. Karma yoga, what is karma yoga? Understanding what karma yoga is to prepare the antakarana. And in order to do that, to get rid of the raga dveshas. So that there comes the free will. There you cannot say it's karma there. But yes, the beginning, yes, to get onto the path, the adrishta phala may play a role. Because even getting exposed to this knowledge requires some adrishta phala. That just doesn't happen. There are so many people there's so many, countless of people in the world, millions of people, but not everyone is pursuing this, right? So that is the grace that's responsible. And we just feel blessed. Shall we continue? So it's not like you first take care of raga dveshas and then pursue knowledge. They can happen simultaneously. So you pursue knowledge and take care of raga dveshas. Karma yoga is something more than an ethical life. Arjuna had been living a life of dharma, but it was not a total karma yoga. He had great ambitions. Only in the battlefield did he become a mumukshu. He had fought with Lord Shiva only for the sake of a weapon, because he wanted a blessing from Lord Shiva in the form of a missile. He worshipped him, all for the sake of personal glories. Living a life of dharma and ethical life, Arjuna legitimately sought these personal glories. So, what was he pursuing? He was pursuing artha and kama, personal fame, personal glories, personal security. Karma yoga is not merely living an ethical life, because one can legitimately aspire for money, power, heaven, and so on. Legitimately, the person performs various karmas and earns his or her living ethically. Following sound work ethics and personal ethics means that one's life is proper. But such a person is not necessarily a mumukshu, the one who has already discriminated between the real and the unreal, the one who has nitya anitya vastu viveka. Nitya means that which is eternal, that which is always there, and anitya is the ephemeral, the non eternal. That I am seeking eternally is knowledge that you gain in time after you have gone through enough rounds of experience to enlighten yourself. You see that experiences come and go, and all that happens is that you become a permanent seeker, an experience hunter. Either you grow out of one experience and want a new experience, or you want a repeat experience. Either way, the experience is anitya. The result of any karma is always anitya. A person who has thus discovered a dispassion towards the experiences of life is called a mumukshu, one who can take to a life of sannyasa or to a life of karma yoga. Those who take to either lifestyle are mumukshus, who have minds that are eka because of nishchaya swabhava. There is a determination, there is clarity. Nishchaya does not mean determination in the sense of resolve. It means that there is no doubt. There is clarity with reference to what I want to know. If you want to know whether a pumpkin is made out of plastic or is real, you ascertain the difference and have nishchayatmika buddhi with reference to that object. There is clarity. A doubt, however, is what is created when someone says that what you thought was real is made out of plastic. You can believe that it is real, but the mind is not nishchayatmika. You have to ascertain whether or not it is real with your own pramana, with your own hands and nose. You touch it and smell it. Nowadays, a pumpkin can be made to smell and feel like a real pumpkin. So, you may also have to scratch it. Once you know it is a real pumpkin, then you have Nishchayatmika Buddhi. From this example, we can understand that Nishchaya is clarity, not determination. What determination or resolve is there in knowing a pumpkin? Determination is something entirely different. You determine to resolve or achieve something. Here, very well ascertained knowledge is what is meant by Nishchayatmika Buddhi. Clarity with reference to the Lakshya, what is to be accomplished in life. Any target is called a lakshya. Any implied meaning is also called lakshya, as we have seen before. What is aimed at here is lakshya, and the lakshya is very clear. The means are also very clear. I do not choose karma yoga thinking that it will deliver the goods. I choose it knowing full well it is jnana that delivers the goods. A karma yogi pursues knowledge while at the same time living a life of karma yoga. In this, the karma yogi has nischaya, a clarity about the goal. The person has no delusions whatsoever. He or she may practice asanas, pranayama, and various other disciplines. A number of rituals may also be performed. However, whatever is done is meant for only one purpose. This integration is clear to the karma yogi because he or she knows that these karmas themselves will not produce knowledge. The purpose of the various disciplines is clear. This then is what is meant by clarity. No karma is discounted or dismissed, nor is it mistaken for a means to an end that it cannot produce. Therefore, a karma yogi will not complain later that he or she tried everything, none of which helped at all. It's a very important aspect of karma yoga. And is born out of ajnana. No karma can produce knowledge. This is bottom line. No karma, including Ashtanga Yoga, Sudarshan Kriya. None of this can cause, or even meditation, can give us knowledge, can reach us, can they can only, they're all helpful in preparing the ground. So this clarity is very important. So therefore it is said here, there is no karma can, the result of any karma is always anitya. Number one is to understand that you're eternally seeking. And there is no end to this seeking. The only way to end the seeking is through jnana. Living an ethical life alone is not karma yoga. Karma yoga is beyond just living an ethical life. Arjuna became a mumukshu on the battlefield when he said, Shishyasteham shadimam tvam prapannam. Teach me what is Shreyas, what is. I want to know what is Shreyas. Till then, he was only living a dharmic life. And he was, of course, pursuing dharma, and, artha, and kama. Right? So, karma yoga is not merely living an ethical life, because you can legitimately, following dharma, being an ethical person, you can pursue money, pursue power, pursue fame, but that is not what makes one a karma yogi. A karma yogi is one who has this distinction between nitya anitya vastu viveka. This clarity is there of what I'm seeking. He has that eka buddhi. So there is that attitudinal shift in the mind. And therefore, slowly and steadily, the karma yogi is not going to be affected by tulya and ninda, by, by praise and humiliation. He will slowly start going beyond the dvandvas, sukha and dukkha. But as long as as long as a person is pursuing dharma, artha, and kama, he will get swayed because the ends are only limited. He or she wants fame, name, power, money, security. So he gets money, he'll be very happy. He loses money, he goes down crashing. So he's swayed by the pairs of opposites in life. But a karma yogi goes beyond the opposites because that attitude in his mind is that of a prayer. Whatever he does is done with that yajna bhava. And whatever is the result, he takes it as prasada. So that chitta prasadana, the pleasantness of his mind, is maintained. So the karma yogi is not after experiences. I want to experience this and that. No. He has one who has discovered a dispassion towards the experiences of life. Only then he becomes a mumukshu. And nischaya here is not determination. Nischaya is clarity. Clarity as to what I want. And that a beautiful example of that pumpkin to know whether it is real or not, or plastic. So the clarity, a doubt comes when someone says that what you thought was real is made out of plastic. Let's reflect upon this example so we get this nischaya clear. I'll just read this paragraph one more time. So if you want to know whether a pumpkin is, one second. So nischaya swap, those who take to either lifestyle are mumukshus who have minds that are eka because of nischaya swabhava. There is a determination, there is clarity. Nischaya does not mean determination in the sense of resolve. It means that there is no doubt. There is clarity with reference to what I want to know. If you want to know whether a pumpkin is made out of plastic or is real, you ascertain the difference and have Nishchayatmika Buddhi with reference to that object. There is clarity. A doubt, however, is what is created when someone says that what you thought was real is actually plastic. You can believe that it is real, but the mind is not Nishchayatmika. You have to ascertain whether or not it is real with your own pramana, with your own hands and nose. You touch it and smell it. Nowadays, a pumpkin can be made to smell and feel like a real pumpkin. So you may also have to scratch it. Once you know it is a real pumpkin, then you have Nishchayatmika Buddhi. From this example, we can understand that Nishchaya is clarity, not determination, not resolve. What determination or resolve is there in knowing a pumpkin? Determination is something entirely different. You determine or resolve to achieve something. Here, very well ascertained knowledge is what is meant by Nischayatmika Buddhi. Clarity with reference to the Lakshya, to what is to be accomplished in life. So let us share our thoughts.
The earlier paragraph it said that you are seeking experiences and it is anitya. The experience is anitya. Can you please read that part again, please? Yeah, I'm seeking eternally. Karma yoga is not merely living a ethical life.
Yeah. Karma yoga is not merely living an ethical life, because one can legitimately aspire for money, power, heaven, and so on. Legitimately, the person performs various karmas and earns his or her living ethically. Following sound work ethics and personal ethics means that one's life is proper. But such a person is not necessarily a mumukshu, the one who has already discriminated between the real and the unreal, the one who has nitya anitya vastu viveka. So, who's a mumukshu? By definition, mumukshu is moksho me bhuyat iti tivra ichha. And he is also one who has this nitya anitya vastu viveka. Nitya means that which is eternal, that which is always there. And anitya is the ephemeral, the non eternal. That I am seeking eternally is knowledge that you gain in time after you have gone through enough rounds of experience to enlighten yourself. You see that experiences come and go, and all that happens is that you become a permanent seeker, an experience hunter. Either you grow out of one experience and want a new experience, or you want a repeat experience. Either way, the experience is anitya. The result of any karma is always anitya.
So good.
So, being a samsari, you're seeking eternally, isn't it? You may be a dharmic person. You may be living life very ethically. Your life is very proper. You're doing everything right. But is that taking you to your end? You're just an experience hunter. You're going after one experience after another experience. So, putting an end to this experience seeking, this endless seeking, comes with a nitya anitya vastu that with that dispassion, that vairag, with that viveka comes vairagya. And then armored with that six shamadhi shat sampatti, you take on to this lifestyle, whichever lifestyle one chooses to. And the end is moksha. And the means to that end is knowledge. There is only one means, and that is through jnana. So, a person who has thus discovered a dispassion towards the experiences of life is called a mumukshu, one who can take to a life of sannyasa or to a life of karma yoga. So, a mumukshu has two lifestyles, sannyasa or karma yoga. Those who take to either lifestyle are mumukshus who have minds part. So, this integration is clear to the karma yogi because he or she knows that these karmas themselves will not produce knowledge. The purpose of the various disciplines is clear. This then is what is meant by clarity. No karma is discounted or dismissed. Remember this. No karma is discounted or dismissed, nor is it mistaken for a means to an end that it cannot produce. Therefore, a karma yogi will not complain later that he or she tried everything, none of which helped at all. Everything has its place in clearing up the raga dveshas. Whatever helps is useful. People actually say these things. I tried all this and it did not work. It is all a trip. They do not know what they tried it all for. Whatever you try can help in some way or other if it is done properly. It is also true that something that helps one person may not help another. For instance, two people may have the same disease with the same symptoms, but only one will be helped by a particular treatment and other may actually be harmed by it. There are hundreds of disciplines and cures for varieties of diseases, but they do not help everyone because each of them has its own limitation. No one really knows what a particular medicine will do. Researchers may have watched its effect on rats, but how it will act on a human being in a male body as opposed to a female body, an Indian stomach as opposed to a Western stomach, they do not know. What happens when you eat meat instead of brown rice is not really known either. It is all guesswork and prayer. Because everything has its own limitations, there is no last word. As long as you understand that you do a certain thing for a certain purpose and do not have any delusion about it, everything is fine. You do not become a faddist, nor do you think that this or that will deliver what it cannot. Only jnana will deliver, and for the sake of jnana, you have to do what is to be done, which requires vichara, inquiry. It is the thing that produces the knowledge that will deliver. If, for the sake of that knowledge, you think you need to do this or that to be able to know, then do it. Shankara says here that Viveka being there, the mind is single pointed. Eka buddhihi bhavati. Suppose, however, that the lakshya, the human end, is not very clear. What kind of buddhi will be there? It will be a buddhi that is dissipated in many pursuits without any definite direction. Those who have no vyavasaya are those with no viveka buddhi, no discrimination. They definitely do not have the knowledge born out of pramana through the study of the shastra. They have no such clarity, and for them, there are many branches, bahushakas, countless means and countless ends, all of which are in the buddhi, so that the person wants to do many things at the same time, finally, not doing even one of them properly. Time management, therefore, becomes an enormous problem. Without clarity, priorities are a problem. To say, this job I will do now and this one I will do later means that you have only one buddhi. to say nothing of having only one body. However, suppose you want to do all of them and are not very clear about which one you want to do first. What happens is that you cannot even start. Similarly, when it is very clear to you that this knowledge, this freedom is what you want in life, then everything becomes karma yoga for you, even marriage. In fact, marriage is yoga. Here, both the partners together live a life of karma yoga, preparing themselves for this knowledge. Having pointed out the difference in understanding, Krishna talks about those who are not clear about the end to be accomplished in life. So we'll repeat this again tomorrow, a little bit of what we did in the last paragraphs, before we go on tomorrow to the next verse. So we'll stop here for a brief manana. So vyavasayatmika buddhihi ekeha kuru nandana. Bahushakahyanantasya buddhayo vyavasayinam. So this is a very important verse for a seeker. To be clear in our mind, to have that nishchaya, the clarity of what I'm seeking, what is the means, what is the end. Because in these days of reels and so much on social media, even with respect to spirituality, one can be swayed this way or that way because everything seems fine. But when we know, when we understand and properly live the life of like a karma yogi, that proper attitude, then everything becomes part of that yoga. Even then, we should be clear in our mind as to what is the means and what is the end. Any more sharing? So doing it properly in the way with an attitude of karma yoga is important. We'll stop here today. Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tat Sat. Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Jai Gurudev.
Meditation is accepting this moment, living every moment totally with depth. Let us keep our spine erect and body relaxed and eyes closed. Relax your shoulders. Keep a big smile on your face. You're sitting like the statue of Buddha, very serene and with a serene smile on your face. Relax your body. Let's take a deep breath in and breathe out. Become aware of your chest region, throat and chest region. If you notice some tension in the body, just let it be. Except those parts of the body where you feel a tension, the other parts are in comfort. Other parts are at peace. Become aware of that also. There are many good things about you and inside of you. Acknowledge them. They will never leave you. And the negative aspect you may see in you is never going to stay with you forever. They are all guests for some time. Let them be. Sit with the total acceptance of yourself the way you are at this very moment. Total acceptance of what is now here will lead us to deeper meditation. Let go of all the efforts. Shanti. Let go of all your effort and be in this emptiness. And slowly and gradually become aware of body and surroundings. And you may gently open your eyes.